You're listening to What She Said on Canada Talks.
We are back in studio, Christine Bentley and Kate Wheeler with you today, and we're very excited to have Nicholas Reichenbach with us in studio, and we are going to be talking about Flow, which is a modern water brand, and Nicholas is concerned about the environment, and he wants sustainable products and to minimize our carbon footprint. So this new packaging that you are about to launch in April, and it's going to be What She Said's new water supply for our guests. Tell us about how you came up with the idea and why you came up with the idea.
Well, I came up with the idea, first and foremost, the spring that the water comes from is a family spring that we've had for 30 years. So I've been drinking the water for over 30 years, and amazing high quality mineral water that's naturally alkaline. And so I've always had water around me and in the back of my mind, but my father and I are naturalists and not really super thrilled with the idea of putting water in plastic bottles.
Yeah, no, neither way.
Yeah, plastic has got lots of problems that we probably don't need to go into that long list of why plastic is. So I went to a festival called Burning Man, which is outside of San Francisco. I lived, and I'm not the only person to come back with an epiphany on how to change the world.
Right. No, apparently not.
So at Burning Man, they have this amazing philosophy called no impact. Mm-hmm. And it really kind of hit home to me after a week of being in the desert, drinking water out of plastic bottles. They believe in no impact. Even like people that smoke cigarettes actually have to put them in their pocket afterwards. And after the entire week's done, nothing is there. There's no impact to the environment. But at the end of the week, there was a huge mountain of plastic because you have to drink at least a gallon of water every day minimum just to stay hydrated. So you can imagine this mountain of plastic was massive, 50,000 people, 7 days. I looked at the mountain and I said, there's got to be a better way. And so I set off around the globe actually to try to find the best company, the most environmentally conscious company and the most environmentally forward and advanced package. And I found Tetra Pak. Which is a very large company, a European company that's been set out to have an alternative to plastic by using paperboard trees from responsible forestry to create packages that are over 70% from renewable resources and minimize the plastic in each package.
So this is made from... This package, you can look at later on our YouTube channel at What She Said 167 on YouTube. It's a beautiful silver package, very attractive with flow on it. It's got the good recycling thing on it, but it's made from trees?
It's made from trees. The trees are made from responsible forestry, so Tetra Pak does not use any old trees. They only use trees that have been grown to cultivate specifically for making packaging. Okay. This package has no BPA or PET in it, the bad plastic that is in a lot of other stuff that is now in the front eyes of the consumer of being something that's bad for the environment but also bad for yourself.
And also another really good point about this water is naturally alkaline spring water, so the actual quality of the water is superior.
Yeah, so there's two problems in that I'm trying to solve in the bottled water industry in a whole. One is the packaging, which is the main part of the packaging is that they use plastic, and we want to try to minimize our plastic and go for more of a sustainable, renewable source. The second part is that over the last 20 years, we went from drinking, Perrier and Evian in glass bottles, high quality, beautiful water, to now a process called reverse osmosis using tap water. And so large companies like that everybody's used to drinking out of, they don't even use spring water. They actually use tap water that's been reverse osmosis. Everything's been ripped out of it, even except for fluoride and other stuff that you probably don't want to be drinking. So not only has the quality of the water went down in the bottled water industry, the packagings went down with it. So we were trying to bring it back up by offering like a high quality premium water as well with a sustainable and renewable package. So we call it H20 2.0.
2.0. So what kind of testing did the water, this flow comes from this 10,000-year-old glacier that melted to become the aquifer that conveniently sits on your family property in Ontario. But what kind of testing do you have to go through to meet all the requirements?
Yeah, well, serendipity plays a big factor in that because we are very lucky to have had that aquifer come up into our property, and our property is protected so that the natural aquifer and the natural artesian springs that actually flow out into a large pond, but it's almost you could call it a lake of spring water that's about 4 to 6 feet deep, that goes into a spring, goes into a creek, and it releases millions of gallons of water a day in it. So what we did is, to protect that environment, we didn't touch any of that stuff. On the other side of the property, we have a beautiful artesian well that was drilled, and we test according to all of the standards of Health Canada and the Ministry of the Environment to ensure that the water is high quality. But the water really has been sitting there for 10,000 years and untouched and replenished by rainwater, so it's of the highest quality to begin with, and it comes from deep down. So we pull the water from deep down and up, and it goes directly into a truck.
Well, Nicholas, I understand that you're launching, excuse me, this in April, and you're rolling it out across Ontario, Canada, and then into the U.S.
Yes.
So my question would be, silly question, is there enough water there for what I would imagine is going to catch on big time? Because I think consumers really, when they see pictures and they hear stats of how if you took all the empty water bottles, it would circle the world, I don't know, X or 2X or 3X
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah.
This could be a craze. Will you have enough water there?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of water there. But we monitor. We have the Canada's top environmental consulting firm that actually works with us to monitor the well, its impact at every step of the way, and our well, because the aquifer is so large, it yields a huge amount of water. But with that being said, do we want to get into the business of shipping water around the world? I think that we'd rather do local partnerships and local deals with water that's very high quality, similar to ours, that would allow us to ship in a very efficient way with the minimum carbon footprint to get it into local markets. So I would prefer to take that route than copying what the industry already has, which people put, Fiji water or Evian, which comes from France, or I just can't really see how that makes a lot of sense when we have such high quality water that's locally sourced.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now, you are going to be at the Green Living Show at Metro Toronto Convention Centre. That's March 27th to 29th, and you are kindly giving away some tickets for our listeners. So again, you can go on to whatshesaid.radio.com and sign up, subscribe to our list, and just send us an email. And courtesy of Flow, you may be lucky enough to get a pair of tickets to the Green Living Show, again, March 27th to 29th. And so you're going to roll it out across Ontario in April, beginning of April.
Yeah.
When do we get our first ship?
So in April, two things are happening.
Okay.
We're going to, in April 10th, it hits retail shops in Toronto.
Right.
But also we have a direct-to-consumer distribution model that further minimizes your carbon footprint. I think we're one of the first companies in Canada to actually roll out an electric fleet of SUVs that are from Kia. That just came into the market, and we're actually delivering direct to consumer for free. We'll drop off a case every week, and we'll pick up the recycling and do it for you.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about it, and we're looking forward to being able to give our guests something that reduces their carbon footprint, something we all need to do.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.